Hey guys, just wanted to preface this episode by saying that the quality, audio quality of this show is going to be a little bit lacking. Because of the quarantine, I'm going to be having to conduct online interviews. So, because of that, of course, Skype reduces the audio quality. So, hopefully, this situation will get better sooner rather than later, and we will be able to go back to giving you the best quality content I can. However, what is cool is that you're going to get some video um, interviews. So you're going to see my face and the guest face, move, and while the words are coming out of it. That's kind of cool. Also, this intro is not happy hour as it usually is. It is titled No Vacancy, and it is off of K Hella's new album, Focus, which is the focus of this episode because he's on here and we're going to talk about his new album. Also, the outro is off the same album. It is called Shower Thoughts. Hope you enjoy both tracks. They're only parts of it, but if you want to hear the full things, go and listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere else you can stream your music. Enjoy.
Yeah. Look, they try and treat me like a spectacle. I just don't respect it though. I'm the type of guy to shoot behind when they expect it low. Guess I gotta set the tone, I won't get no less than gold. Tryna see what happens, tune into the next episode. You never know what you got until it's too late. I'm making moves like the movies, they should press it Blu-ray. And to the dudes trying to boo me, I care less what you say. Look at your life and realize all the effort you waste. Never been fake, and I'm on a dead president chase. Avoiding toxic tendencies of pushing blessings away. Thinking of all the less fortunate who never escape the disapproval when their parents have success in their face. Who probably end up with their neck in a brace if they ever contest what they say, all because of negligent ways. I understand shit is destined to change. That's why I walk a million miles in the rain to make my message conveyed. Where's the love?
Hey guys, welcome to the Closers Podcast versus K Hella. This is the third time my man's been on the show. I'm really excited to have him on. Welcome, Kevin. K Hella, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. This is the first time you guys can actually see my face, so this is pretty fun.
I know, yeah.
Is this the first time you haven't posted video before, right? Only audio?
We did a couple live streams in August.
That's right.
I did like a debate on Spider-Man, and then we did a hot wing contest. It was pretty funny.
I watched the Spider-Man one because I remember we were talking about it when me and Austin came by, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that was a good time for sure. How have you been holding up during this whole quarantine time, dude? It's crazy, this craziness out here.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. I've been in my room. I work from home now. On the other side of my phone is a 27-inch iMac that I work on. So,
damn.
I mean, I have my Switch under me, my PS4 to my right, my gaming laptop behind my phone, my microphone, my keyboard. So I don't really need to leave for much. Before yesterday, I didn't leave my house for a week and a half until I tweeted. I was like, who's trying to go get some In-N-Out? And Carlitos was like, down. So then we went to which was cool. But other than that, I'm an introvert anyways. So it's not really affecting me except like I love the idea of thinking, oh, I'm going to go grab some coffee. And then I'm like, not going to happen. So, yeah. How about you?
Same, basically. I mean, I have the setup I use for the podcast is the same I use for my music. So I have my amplifier off to this side, and then my bed is right behind the camera. So it's just everything's in the room. So I don't really have to leave here to a whole lot. I have my video games and stuff. No Switch, unfortunately. I want to play Animal Crossing, but I mean, whatever. I mean, I'll have to wait. I know. I haven't even bought it yet. You haven't? Shit. The homie Carlitos is on that, though, I think. Pretty sure he's on it.
I think you mentioned it. I just be playing Pokemon. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a classic game.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of quarantine, though, it's really interesting. Like this is like a perfect time for creative people to just hunker down and get stuff done that they've been trying to get done for a long time. Have you found yourself even though Focus just came out, have you found yourself already like kind of playing around with stuff now that you have more time on your hands?
Yeah, like the main thing is now I don't have a commute, so I just have like an extra hour-ish plus like getting ready to do whatever. So I made like a beat a day. Some days I made like 5 and just went on like a total splurge,
Uh-huh.
which is pretty cool. I
That is
made
cool.
like a lot of trap beats, which I don't usually do. And then
Nice.
I've recorded one song since the project dropped. It's only been like 5 days, but I made this beat, which was like a soul sample that I flipped. And then it's probably one of my best chops, to be honest. It sounds like a textbook
Dang.
rap beat. I just sent it to
Uh-huh.
like 10 people. I'm trying to get like a little cipher going. So we have 5 verses so far. Austy's one of them, a couple other homies. We'll see how that's going to go. We want to do like some DIY visual stuff with like, I have like, the masks, and I got the gloves,
Mm.
and I got the cleaning supplies wherever the wipes are somewhere around here. So yeah, we're going to try and do some nifty quarantine stuff. But yeah, I mean,
Dang.
definitely, I haven't been freestyling as much because I feel like the vibe's not really there, but still
Yeah.
creating. How about you?
Yeah, I've definitely been trying to record more and stuff. I'm working on the new project and stuff. Slowly but surely, it's getting there. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited to hear that cipher. That sounds sick. Sounds like it's going to be a good time. Anytime you and Asta get together, I already know it's going to be awesome for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. It was just like I like the cipher stuff because it's just a chance to like get your bars off and have fun. Like Focus obviously had a pretty central like goal for the vibe. Like it started
Mm.
off aggressive, mellows out, which we'll probably touch on later. But this one was
Yeah.
just like I'm just gonna talk shit and be reckless and have fun. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's what it's all about, man. As long as you're having fun. Going into Focus though, um, dude, first I want to say, what an album, bro. It's killer. Like I I mean, I was expecting something really really awesome, but that was just like, dude, that was fucking like crazy. So, um definitely a departure from Shift for sure, your first album. Um
definitely.
what were some of the things that you set out to did you have a goal in mind before you started recording Focus, or was it something that just kind of came together over time that you didn't really know what you were making until it got like you got a couple songs down, you're like, oh, okay, we're going in this direction now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like two things. So one, shift I was very focused on my rapping and like even though I wasn't very confident yet, I think I was insecure about my rap. So I was like, I got to put 100% into my writing and stuff. And which is good, but like I still hear uncertainty when I listen to those songs, which is why I can't stand that project.
Right.
Also, because of that approach, I kind of like neglected the production. It was cool beats, don't get me wrong, but like I'm better than all of the beats on that project, except yesterday. I think that was like one of the better beats for sure.
Yeah.
But this one, I went into it like I'm gonna make some really good beats to show off that side because like people didn't realize that I produced the last project. So this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure people know. I'm gonna make sure that they're really good. So when they hear that I made it, they're not like, oh, did you make this one? Like I commonly had people ask, oh, did you make the beat for the outro? It's so good. And I'm like, that's the one beat I didn't freaking make. Thank you. This time I made the beats that people are asking about, and I'm like, cool. Now it kind of paid off.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. The beats definitely have like a totally different feel from Shift. I listened to both projects before we came on here, and like the one thing that just was just super in my face was like the use. I mean, obviously you did sample on Focus, but I feel like the sampling was a little more heavier on Shift. Am I?
Oh
If
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but so like you definitely tried to keep it at a minimum, and also synthesizers. You used a lot of synths on Focus, which I really liked. That was really
Yeah.
cool. It gave it a really like aggressive but like kind of like off base vibe, which was really cool.
Yeah, I've always been in love with like spacey vibes, and I think synths will do that unintentionally. So it
Hmm.
like fits me, and they hit my ears, so it's what I end up using. But the main reason for that, honestly, was because I got the Arturia plugin suite. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but like it's
Yeah.
basically like 13 synths. So I just have nothing but synths at my disposal. So that was like hand in hand with trying not to use hella samples. So it was perfect. I just
Mm.
kept writing a lot of melodies. Half the time when I made the beats, I would just open up a synth and I wouldn't even be trying to write a song. I'd just be wanting to play cool chord progressions and then I'll find something I like and be like, oh, that could be a song.
That's hella cool. Yeah, that is also another thing. The melodies for sure on this project are super super catchy. Like they'll just stick in your head for days. Like I've had watching me stuck in my head for days ever since it came out. And then also the use of guitar too. I'm curious. So you do play guitar, correct? Or is it um Did you record those on your own, or was it? Oh shit! Look at the Strat.
No,
Oh,
although I just did that to flex, but I did not record those guitars.
uh,
The Watching Me is a sample, and it's funny because I wanted someone to redo the sample, like play it, because I have some friends
uh,
who are very capable. But I guess like the way that song was recorded was like a mic'd up amp with specific pedals.
mm,
So
mm-hmm.
like it's really hard to get that exact grittiness. So I had like a bunch of different loops of it, but it just didn't feel the same. So I ended up using the actual sample. What other songs have guitar? I'm not sure. They have like bass. A lot of them have like organic bass because I have a
Oh
plugin
yeah,
with like pretty believable bass. So other than that though, no actual instruments aside from my keyboard.
that's cool. Yeah, moving from the production side of things though, with Focus, like the the overall themes, um, definitely support what you're saying about like the transition from Shift to Focus, where like you're kind of unsure in Shift. You hear that within yourself. You definitely sound a lot more confident and just you go after it, especially in the first couple tracks where you're
Yeah.
just like talk my shit too, same thing, like super aggressive. Was that something that in the order that you put those tracks in on the album, was that like kind of the idea? It was like start out super hard hitting and then kind of like slow it down, or
Yeah, so I think there was two things behind that. One, subconscious, because I'm kind of like a loose cannon. I could be really obnoxious and like in your face, sometimes talk too much, and then I'll
mm-hmm.
kind of like calm down, maybe give a few more seconds to think, and then like I have a more concise way of saying things. So I feel like that's kind of how the project is. Like I come out the gate with energy, slowly mellows down, and then when it mellows, obviously, like you get to, I think it goes escape, watching me, shower thoughts, which are
Yeah.
just like pretty deep songs. I said this in another, I can't remember if it was a video or what, but like I don't like to throw labels on stuff, but I was definitely depressed at the time, and
Mm,
those songs weren't even supposed to be released. They were just trying to vent. So like they came out super good, and I ended up like realizing they were really cohesive. So I was like, I might as well use them. And so yeah, then that's the second part where I started to realize that I had this natural flow.
uh-huh.
So Talk My Shit was actually the last song I made, and the reason I made it is like I needed something with some in your face energy. Like Out the Way is good for the trap banger, but I didn't
Yeah.
have anything that was like the peak energy and then it goes down. Because if that's how I was going to do the
Mm,
project, I needed one more song to like up a little bit and then go down. Which it
yeah.
was fun because I had that in my head, and then I found the sample that I used for that song. It wasn't me
Uh-huh.
playing; it was a sample. And then after I found that, I was like, perfect. This is the exact energy I need. Although that song took me like a month to write, but whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just couldn't find a good chorus. Like I knew I wanted to say "talk my shit," but there was
Yeah,
no way to say it tastefully. And then I finally found out like how I could spin it in there.
I see. What's the one song that you've received the most like feedback for, like positively? Is it Talk My Shit or is it another track?
Um, Honestly, it's pretty equal around the board. I would say like initially it was Watching Me, and then a lot of people like Dilated. I think because like the way I mix my voice on that, it just sounds kind of crisp and like professional, so it hits you when you first hear it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Talk My Shit is mostly, people say it as like the kind of like turn up or the one you can mob to is the exact phrase
Oh
that's
yeah.
supposed to be. And then I think Empty Promises the other one where people
Yeah.
like hear it for the first time and they're like, oh snap. Like I think that's pretty similar to Yesterday in terms of like the vocal range I was in. So when
Hmm.
you hear it, it's like, okay, this is familiar.
Yeah. It is really cool too because with even in the production quality, I feel like just overall confidence and like the title is focus. Um,
Yeah.
it does come through that you were more focused on this track on this whole album for sure. And I saw one of your tweets a couple days ago, maybe like a week ago, but you were like, I actually feel like 100% content with this project, which is really cool to hear because that is rare. Like you sometimes, like you said with Shift, that you kind of put it out and then you kind of are like, oh, I hate this, you know? So that
Yeah.
is cool. Is
I
that
think that's
something
the
that, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna chip in real quick. I think that's like the overall artist dilemma is you always not like you don't like things that you make because you hear potential to improve. And I still
Hmm.
hear things that I can improve on, but I'm just like honestly, when it comes down to the important parts of the songwriting, the production, and the mixing, it's all something where if any of those songs were the first songs you heard by me, you are pretty inclined to like it, I would feel like. Whereas Shift is like, you might not like some of those songs, and I understand because they don't have full effort.
Yeah. No, that makes quite a bit of sense. With the latter part of the album, I heard, let me see, on Shower Thoughts specifically, there's like, I had a specific question about the synths in that. I'm trying to kind of like articulate it because since there's such an abstract kind of, but like how you mixed it together and your flow on that is unlike anything that I've heard you like spit before. Was that just something like you said, yeah, it wasn't even supposed to be released? So that begs the question, like, is that a style that you're gonna maybe pursue in the future, or have other songs that you're just kind of playing around with that kind of same type of vibe, or is it one of those things that's just kind of left on this?
Yeah, that was a one-off. But I listened to Jay Electronica a lot throughout my whole life, and something that he does is have like either just a sample or a very simple like melody, and then maybe some instruments in the back like bass, which that one is just a saw. I think it's in unison 3, and then it phases left and right, and it just kind of like, I was just playing it one night, zoning out in my room, and I was like, I like the way this feels, and then I put the bass behind it, and no drums really sounded good. So the reason I flowed like that is when you listen to like Jay Electronica rap over that stuff, he just sounds like really like introspective, deep, but his flows are always on point, like very technically well done. So that's what I was going for. Like, if I'm going to do something simple on this, I'm just going to try and have it that it's like structured well, and I'm telling a story in both verses. And like the fact that it's called Shower Thoughts and it's all about getting ready and like showering, and then the hook, so to say, is a play on words, like, or it's also part of the metaphor, like, don't leave me out to dry and stuff. So I don't know. I was just trying to be conceptual because I never really do that. So I feel like I was having fun, and it ended up something I could use.
Yeah, no, that was a super cool track. One of my favorites for sure. And then just, I think it was in this song when you said it, but when you said there's a science to my sadness.
Dude, I love you for saying that.
Sick. Dude, so
a
sick.
method to my madness, science to my sadness. Why has no one ever said that before? I don't
know. Dude, when you said that, I was like, that's so tongue in cheek. It's just like, how has nobody said that before? It's so perfect. Like, and it fits the vibe. Yeah, that kind of makes the song, like, that made the song for me for sure.
Yeah, it's that one. I could like see that in the tattoo on someone's collarbone or something.
Dude, I'm gonna get it on my collarbone now. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So you mentioned Jay Electronica, and I'm just curious, what other artists did you listen to during the production of this? Like, any artists you frequented quite often, or?
Yeah, Jay Electronica, Travie McCoy, Mac Miller. Those are like big 3 during this phase.
Dude, I was gonna say, Watching Me has some major Mac Miller vibes for sure, in a way. For at least for me, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten that. I've gotten Escape has Mac Miller vibes. I've gotten Travie McCoy from Watching Me. It's just funny because like I fell in love with Travie McCoy and Gym Class Heroes like last year, where I went through their whole discography. And then when I sent this project over to the dude who helped me master it, he was like, "Bro, you sound like Travie McCoy." I was like, "Let's go! I'm so hyped." I didn't even say anything to him about that.
That's sick. That's hella cool. So when it came to the whole production, like, you mixed it and then you sent it off to get it mastered. Did you like kind of bounce it around this, like, the homies, and kind of get their opinions about it before officially putting it out? Or was it kind of just, I like it, mastered it, we're done, surprise everybody? Like,
yeah, there's like a group of friends I have, Austin included, one of my coworkers who's been into music for super long, that kind of either intentionally or unintentionally heard all the songs over time. And I would ask them on like, does this feel like it sits well in the mix and stuff? So yeah, basically like I mixed the beats. I did a mock mix on the vocals, and then I sent it through to the dude who did his own mix of the vocals and then mastered both versions. And then we picked which we liked more. So a lot of them we ended up using my voice, and I think it's just because you know yourself and you know exactly how you want it mixed. And like someone who does mastering services is often going to go for like the by the book or what's going to be most accepted. It's
Yeah.
so, which is good, but like especially for abstract songs like Shower Thoughts, like
Mm-hmm.
that by the book approach isn't going to work because this is a very off the wall mix in general. Like you're having
Yeah.
a phase the whole time and a very loud bass. Like my voice is going to have to be weirdly done. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty much the process, and it took a super long time, which is why this could have came out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like 90% of these songs were done 6 months to a year ago, probably, but I just
Oh
didn't know where
shit.
the project was gonna go. And then like I think it wasn't until I made the beat for Talk My Shit when I just felt like, okay, I'm done. This is definitely it, because now it's like I could have added 3 or 4 more songs in there, I think, that were more hip hop because I wanted to, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna leave it as it is and drop it. So
That's cool, man. That's really cool. It's good when you know that something's just like, all right, I'm done all I can with these specific tracks instead
yeah,
of trying to do the most, you know. That is
yeah.
cool. How long did it take you overall, like from the first song on the album that was made to I guess Talk My Shit, since that was the last one?
Um, I'm trying to think of what the oldest song is because it's either Dilated or no, I think it's Dilated. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Dilated is the oldest one. I think I made that one. I may have started it in like November of 2018 and then finished
Wow.
it 2019 because it was just one where I struggled with, but like I had the chorus right off the bat, and I still think
Hmm.
that's one of my best hooks I've ever written. Like it just sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
And I had to fight through that song. So like the other songs that came after were just pretty easy for the most part, except for Talk My Shit. That one took a while too. So those two took a while out the way. Anything with collaboration for me is easy because I just feed off someone else's energy and I'm good to go. Like boom, boom, boom. But
Yeah.
it's my individual songs where I'm like, this is taking forever.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely understand that. Um, it is cool how the whole track or the whole EP ends with hot chocolate. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, I
That's
think
yeah.
it was a perfect way to end it on a good note because like Shower Thoughts wasn't necessarily, well, okay, it was definitely sad, but I think there
Hmm.
was more of a melancholy vibe to it. So like going
Yeah.
from Watching Me, where I'm talking about actually all three of those songs are kind of melancholy, but I say some hella depressing stuff if you listen to the words. So
Yeah.
like I wanted it to kind of go back up a little bit, and also there was a Austin outro on the first project, so this time he was on
Mm,
the outro. And fun fact, that was the first verse that he ever recorded outside of his own house, was in my
really,
room, and he got it on first take. So he's a boss for that.
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now looking at it, it's like it is kind of cool. It's like the whole you're going up, you hit your peak, and then you go back down, and then it's just like a little up. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of like a normal day. You know, you're in the middle of your day, you're like at work or whatever, you're doing stuff, you're moving, and then like you're on your way back home, you're in your bed, you're just laying there at night, you're like, oh shit. You wake up, literally take a shower, and then get your hot chocolate and start your day again. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think that's, even though I didn't intentionally do that part, I think that's a
Hmm.
perfect way to describe it because that's really how it flows. And that's what I was saying. I think a lot of it was subconscious because I've said it
Hmm.
before on the last project. This was the same way. I would like to have approached this conceptually and be able to say I did all that on purpose. But
Yeah.
a lot of times I just make any vibe, which is why this is such a wide range of songs. And
Hmm.
then, like, after I have a pile of songs, I'm like, these go together perfect. And
Yeah.
so, like, I had a friend review the project before I dropped it, and I actually thought I sent it to you, but I sent it to the wrong number, so you would have had it hella early, but I dropped the ball on that one.
Oh, it's all
Um,
good.
and my boy was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like they go together to me. And I'm like, well, maybe in terms of melody they don't, but every song's topic kind of moves into the next song, to me at least. So
Hmm.
I don't know, felt right.
Yeah. No, that is cool. And it's interesting too um in the age of like singles that there was only one single off the album, which was Hot Chocolate, correct? Or am I mistaken on that?
Out the Way came out a month before as well.
Oh
So
yeah, Out the
Hot
Way, right.
Chocolate, Out the Way, and then the project.
Nice. How have you seen in terms of like Spotify numbers and stuff like that, or do you not even pay attention to those sort of things?
I paid attention. They're lower than usual. It's only
Hmm.
because I didn't have a lot of marketing power, but I actually have a good friend of mine like doing all the marketing now, and so we're like splitting the numbers up, rightfully
Hmm.
so, and he's going to handle pretty much all that. So I'm not worried about the numbers right off the bat. I'm more so worried about the longevity of me continuously putting out content this time around, whether it be clips, videos, photos, interviews, Instagram lives, polls, anything.
You could just find randomly on
action at this point. You'll notice I cleaned up my Instagram feed. It's like kind of color graded now. It's like more cohesive. I got to step up my social media game. But yeah, wait, what was the original question? Because I just got on a hella long tangent.
No, that's perfect. I was gonna segue into that area anyways, but the question was just, do you look at the Spotify numbers a lot? Are those or just streaming numbers in general, or is it something that you're just kind of like, all right, like whatever? It's more about just the music in general.
Yeah. For now, it's whatever. It's going to be about the numbers shortly. The main reason I also kind of force myself not to care is like I have in my opinion, my like most well done music video idea, and I can't record it because of the quarantine. So I'm really fucking with that. But like that would be my biggest marketing tool. Obviously, you can push it to World Star and like all over the place, but I don't have it. So I'm just waiting till we have that video, and then I'm really going to start pushing. But we're still submitting the playlist and everything. The project's only been out for 4 days now, 5 days.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say, though, it's a little off topic, but Austin dropped a single not too long ago, and this fool is like up to 6.5K listeners on Spotify.
Dang.
So I don't know if it's organic or what he's not telling me, but Austin, this, bro, I need some of that. Dude.
Yeah, dude, that guy definitely knows how to market his stuff without making it seem like he's being like super thirsty for like listens and stuff. It's just crazy. Yeah. And I guess that's the key.
He boasts the organic method and he does it well. So I hope the best for him. Hopefully he pops, because none of us would be doing music if it wasn't for him. I'm sure I've said that several times by now.
Oh, definitely. With shifting into the social media conversation. So now that focus is out, you're kind of more pivoting towards like social media marketing, getting your brand and your name out there, and making the K Hella brand. I see you're wearing the Mouth Lauren and stuff. So yep, repping. So like, what sort of things are you doing to kind of spearhead the marketing stuff?
Yeah, so we're doing the Spotify playlist. I did some licensing this time around. Man, I just had all of these in my head and I kind of blanked out on it. I might need to brainstorm for a sec, because
that's all good, man.
Yeah, we've done a lot more in terms of like having content stacked up this time around as well. I mean, a lot of it is going to be paid placements and stuff to try and gain listeners. I'm kind of like moving into collab season, so I'm trying to work with as many people as I can, because the funny thing is I had people who were like much bigger than me in Sacramento trying to work after shift, but I just didn't feel as confident in myself and ready. Like I didn't think I was going to benefit their product by being on it. So I hesitated, and I think now a lot of those people have either moved on or they're just not currently doing collabs. So it kind of sucks, but yeah, I need to vamp up like Facebook and all that stuff. I'm just trying to rebuild. You'll notice like my Spotify and Apple are pretty clean now. Like I have a full presentation, and a lot of my photos, like everything has my face in it now. Whereas on Shift, it didn't. You really didn't know what I looked like if you saw my profile. So I'm trying to we have like a behind the scenes video out that I'll make sure that that's linked and stuff. And like I'm having another short interview coming out, and I have some friends who sent me, my boys actually surprised me with like a anime mashup, the AMVs, the anime music video to Dilated. They like paid someone to professionally do one, and it's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie, like it's pretty cool. So I have a lot more content, which I think is the main thing, especially being locked up. I'm gonna have merch too, and it's gonna be fire. And I have to show you. This is like, I'm very pleased to say that this merch is easily like the best it could have been for right now. And yeah, I'll have to show you a lot of the stuff we've been working on. But I think because we can't do shows, we can't do like in-person meetups, we just really have to leverage everything else. So I'm trying to come heavy on the social media impact and keeping my face everywhere you go. Last thing I'll say is we're trying to do like mailing list. We want to build that, and like maybe even SMS blasting down the road. I know it's going to be slow growth, but we're hoping that if we can just kind of start that now, it'll be less like out of the blue if I'm gaining traction to have people signing up for it. So
that's cool. Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of things in the works, but that's what you got to do. It's a constant behind the scenes grind. A lot of people just don't even think about all the work that gets put in behind on all the little things like mailing lists and creating all this like small content to just
Yeah.
keep people engaged. So it's
Yep.
really cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing I messed up on in Shift is like because I put my heart and soul into that project and I felt drained like up until the day before it released, I was tweaking mixes and uploading because back then DistroKid was like you could upload it and next day have it out, whereas now it
Yeah.
takes a couple days. But yeah, like I made the mistake of because I worked so hard, I relaxed after I dropped it, which is fine, but like that takes away all your ramp
Momentum.
up. Like, you
Yeah.
just kind of cut it off and it's
Hmm.
like, okay. Then I dropped a YouTube video and that did really well. And then I cut it off again. It's like I didn't really think about it. So now that I have someone who is
It's like venues and
kind of does marketing for a living more or less, like building clientele. So he always just drops these little pins in my ear where I'm like, oh dude, I don't know why I'm not thinking this way. I'm trying to get my mind into the business mindset other than just a creative hippie.
that's cool. Yeah, no, that's definitely important for sure. Especially during the quarantine when nobody can go outside. Everyone's on their phones constantly. So it's like perfect fertile ground for somebody blowing up. I mean, someone's got to do it at some point, right?
For real, you'd think.
I know, right? So going back to that music video, and this is just a question about music videos in general. Some people were thinking that music videos were kind of like dead, like people weren't really watching them. Like it's not really you know, a type of art form anymore that like people like really care about. But I've
Mhm.
seen recently that a lot of bands, artists, they've been doing, and you as well, and like Asti and really everybody, like from bigger artists to people that aren't really doing a whole lot, and everybody in between are making music videos now to engage people. Is that something that you think is not going to end anytime soon?
Not at all, dude. I mean, every single social media platform allows you to post videos. Why
Hmm.
would you not post a video of yourself as opposed to a picture? And also, you have so much opportunity to show your personality, like who you really are in a video, as well
Hmm.
as like you can enhance any song by reinforcing the concept of the song with your visual. So
Right.
I think the argument of them fading is totally flawed because I mean, some people's careers are totally because of their videos. Like there's the people who've blown up off TikTok. There's what's that guy's name? Joyner Lucas.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he
Joyner Lucas. Yeah.
popped specifically because his videos were huge on Facebook and he was doing political stuff and like all this symbolism in his videos and like the people who love hip hop and the geeks who like the political like art and stuff
Yeah.
were also into it. So I think that videos are still number one. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Hmm.
like there's so many people who lost relevance and regained it just off one video and
Yeah.
people who weren't anyone and then were someone because of a video. I think like
Hmm.
that's still the number one tool because you can put them everywhere. Not only that, like now we're factoring in, okay, I've got the licensing for my music, let's do commercials, let's do ads. Like it's all video, maybe not specifically music videos, but maybe might be a short 30-second clip of me performing it or something,
Yeah.
still on the same avenue.
Just anything, any movement, because I guess it goes back to just people catching people's eye. When things
Exactly.
move, people look at it. It's just
Yeah.
basic human nature, right?
Yeah, and I can tell you firsthand, even being someone with a small organic following, not anything really notable, all my posts with a lot of interaction and everything I've promoted that was very successful was a video and it was showing my face. Like the most popular video on my social media is when Shift dropped and I was like basically turning up in my living room with everyone behind me.
Yeah.
Dude, that video got like 10K views. Like I mean, and I wasn't anyone at the time, and that was like the first time that I saw a girl sliding in my DM from like dropping art and stuff, and just like I'm like, dude, this is the life. This is what it's about. All because I was in a nice outfit and rapping with a house full of people behind me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. It's also the aesthetic too. I mean, it's everything is geared towards, trying to project a certain image to back the brand. And that's
Right.
cool to
Exactly.
see that K Hella's becoming a brand. That's fucking awesome.
Dude, yeah, and not only that, but like think about how hard it is sometimes to convey your tone over text. Picture
Hmm.
versus video, like how much easier is it to show what you were going for in a video where you can use every sensory detail except for actual touching someone and smell, of course, whatever. I'm sounding like a nerd now, but like, bro,
No,
you
no,
know
it's
what I
fine.
mean? Videos,
Yeah.
talking, everything that you could imagine is right there
Hmm.
in one tap. Like all you got to do is tap it to hear it on Instagram and boom, like all that is right
Yeah.
in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, videos are definitely the way to go. I know though, going back to confidence, some artists definitely don't have the confidence, right when they're starting out to kind of like put their face out there and, want to go all in on something. But
Yeah.
it's cool to see that you're doing it for sure, man. That's awesome. Um, so with the with social media in mind, there's a lot of people doing like live like Instagram shows and like, you know, live streams of themselves playing, somewhere. Is there anything like that on the horizon for you?
I think so. I've got a few things in the works right now. I'm hoping that we can get some live stuff set up with like maybe some posts ahead of time, letting people know when it is.
Hmm.
So I think so. There's some people who like play instruments that we're thinking of either meeting up or doing some sort of like jam session. I'm hoping that I think that would be the coolest because you're seeing a lot of beat battles, you're seeing a lot of concerts, but like a jam session would be
Hmm.
cool between multiple people just to have on live and just have a good time.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Would it just be something where it's just you and then other musicians and artists, or would it be like the crew you guys like roll with, like Aussie and all the others?
I'm thinking more so in the range of like some people playing instruments and I'm just the only vocalist, or like
Got it.
maybe me and a singer as well. And then,
Mm.
but obviously you got to keep in mind like not too many people together at once right now. But yeah,
True, true, true. I forgot about that. That's the
yeah,
thing, man. It's sometimes you forget that we're in this situation. Doesn't it feel kind of surreal sometimes that like, oh, I can't go outside like and go to the park and like
yeah.
skate or whatever. Isn't it
Yeah,
weird?
it does for sure. I mean, it hit me really because like we wanted to have a release party and we couldn't, but we had like the limit 6 people over, so it was just 6 close friends chilling, listening to the project. But
Mm.
yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I'm an introvert, so it's not like you feel it until you do those little things. Like I want to go grab coffee. Never
Mm.
mind, can't do that. Like I was saying earlier, like for the
Yeah.
most part, you don't feel it, but yeah, there's definitely those moments where it hits you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, what's your thought about like everything going on? When do you think, I know you're not an expert, I'm not either. Just ballparking it from everything that you've kind of heard. Like, how long do you think everything's going to be this way for?
Dude, I wouldn't. I mean, I think I've been saying for a while, like September, I feel like is going to be a
Uh,
month of like back to normal. Even if it ends before that, I don't think it's going to be until it starts to get into like the time where we all would have to go outside. Like that's when school starts to get active again. So we're going to have to
mm-hmm.
go places, or like that's when also the big businesses are going to make those decisions. Like we're reaching the fourth quarter of the year. So if anyone was to start pushing you to go back outside, I think it's going to be then, because until then, like you have the whole summer. Even if you have the ability to go outside, most people chill during the summer anyways. So I think it's going to be like that time fall.
That's true. That's a very good point. Um, that would be a good time too, because I feel like a lot of artists are rescheduling their tours for like October, November time anyways. So that would give them time. Hopefully it works. But there's going to be a ton of amazing art that comes out of this time where everyone's just kind of home. And I can't
Yeah,
wait
for
to see
sure.
it.
Yeah, that's the scary part. Like you think the market was oversaturated before.
Yeah.
All the people who wanted to make music, paint, any clothes, anything, they all have time now. So it's going to be a lot of competition. You got to be on your A game. But I guess that's even more of the reason to be yourself and not worry about that stuff. And just, if you're in it for the right reasons, keep doing it.
Yeah. It's going to be cool though, because different influences are going to come up. Like people that, maybe are just going to like put out one album and just be done because they're not going to have time anymore.
Mhm.
Like can just, you could just find randomly on Bandcamp and just take influence from it or something. Like there's just
Yeah.
going to be so much more material, which is kind of cool in a way. You can look at it from the competition perspective, or you can look at it from the influence. So it's interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't take into consideration like all genres are going to be flooded with new content. So looking
Yeah,
at it from a competition standpoint obviously just shows that I'm a rapper. But I mean, yeah, definitely more sample material, more non hip hop music to just dive into and enjoy. So that's going to be
that's true.
sick.
Yeah, that is cool. Is if things kind of die down towards the fall, would live shows be back into the conversation with you, trying to like, would that be something you're definitely going to push for, just like you're trying to push the social media marketing stuff, playing live and stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I'm still gonna do a show with Austin and some of our boys at some point. We're gonna do
Sick.
one in the next couple of weeks, which obviously won't happen now. But whether I'm the headliner or not just depends on if I can keep the momentum up and keep people interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the cool thing, of course, about music is, although the best time to push for momentum is when it drops, at least like if I put a video out a couple months from now, I could try and ramp it back up again, and then maybe that'll be right in time for some shows.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be really cool. What do you think about the whole state of like music right now during the quarantine? We talked about music creation, but like music sustainability across
Yeah.
like venues and record labels and established artists that had to like drop tours or
Mm.
stuff. Like, what do you think about that? The whole state right now.
Maybe from a revenue standpoint, it's painful, but I feel like from a cultural standpoint, it's thriving because you have all these artists going on live. You have people interacting way more
Mm,
than usual. So, like what you're saying with the labels and stuff, I'm sure they're trying to find a way to make a buck off the artist, and it probably sucks, and that might put them in some sort of contractual conflicts. But I think
mm-hmm.
from like a fan standpoint, this is probably like a golden era because you have people like Tory Lane's doing live. You have people doing beat battles, like producers we haven't heard of from in a while. It's a really good time. I think it's like people were saying that it feels like there's a Sacramento art renaissance because so many artists are like just on point and coming out with. I have a Spotify playlist that I made with like when you listen to it, if you don't keep in mind it's Sacramento, it's just a fire playlist, and then you realize all these people are from the same place. I feel like that's
Yeah.
going to be on a worldwide scale now. Like everyone
Mm,
has the potential to just be active and like really take advantage. Hopefully, I'm not the only person I know I'm not. That's going to be on social media heavy, just trying to be interacting with everyone. So I think
yeah.
culture is going to thrive no matter what genre you're in right now.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. It is sad though to see certain like venues that have been around for a long time have to close because like
Oh
they
yeah,
just
yeah,
can't
yeah.
afford. That's one of like the hardest parts. Like I don't know if you heard of Slims in SF, but they shut down.
Whoa, that's a big name. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they just shut down like a week and a half ago or so. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, dude, small businesses in general are just hurting. I mean, this is a topic we haven't even touched on yet, but the economy is getting destroyed. So,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
it's going to be that way for a while, and a lot of our favorite small restaurants are going to be closing, I'm sure. So, we'll
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah, it is scary with the whole talk of like unemployment going up to like astronomical rates that we have never seen
Oh, yeah.
before, and
10
it's
million
just crazy.
applicants so
Yeah,
far.
dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, thinking about the back to the last recession and like how everything transpired afterwards, we did come back pretty strong, like 5 years after that
Mhm.
whole time period. But isn't it crazy that this is how 2020 starts, like a new decade, and it's just like instant, just like collapse, and
Yeah.
now we're just back at ground zero.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the worst years to be alive since we were born, I think.
Hmm.
A lot of crazy stuff outside of the virus, even with all the Kobe ish and just everything. Like, it's
Yeah,
not been a good year so far. So hopefully something changes. But, if you read any
conscious until it was gone.
theories, everyone has seemed to think this was going to be a crazy year. So the fact that it has been already is kind of wild. But I'm
Yeah,
not into a lot of that stuff. But it is interesting to note that a lot of that is true so far.
yeah. Makes you think, man. What is real? What is what isn't?
Dude,
But
everyone's like, what is life at this point?
yeah, for real. Speaking of Kobe though and sports, I don't know if you're like me, but I didn't realize just how much sports kind of like played a part in my subconscious until it was gone.
Yeah.
Because it's like at least I had that to talk to people about, like if all else fails, I can like rely on like, oh, what do you think about the Kings or whatever.
Yep.
Now it's
Yep.
just like, shit, what do I talk to these people about? Has that been an experience too that you've seen?
Um, yes and no. It eliminates the current sports conversations, but opens up debates of your top five or like let's watch some
Mm,
highlights and all that stuff. So now the conversations have just shifted to talking about old stuff or like what was happening in the league up to right now. Or
mm-hmm.
now there's like similar to the music industry, there's a lot of funny stuff going on with social media. The NBA players going live and talking about stories they've never told. Well, they're the one that I thought was crazy is CP3 was going to go to the Heat, but he demanded the number three from Dwayne Wade, even though Dwayne had already won a ring with
Wow.
three, and he didn't want to lose his nickname CP3. So he said no. And the next year, if I'm not mistaken, they won a championship, or they could have, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the
Yeah.
best point guard in the league at the time who didn't go because of his number. I mean, Kobe changed from 8 to 24. So
Yeah.
come on, think of
That
some
is
marketing
crazy.
stuff. Yeah, it's wild.
Dude, wow. I did not hear about that. That is cool. And that is interesting that you mentioned how it's affecting like sports too, cuz like they are doing an NBA 2K tournament on ESPN where like players are playing 2K and are like
Got to
go
improvise.
yeah, and it's like pretty entertaining. Like you hear them talk and they're like in their homes and stuff talking about quarantine and like telling stories and like trash talking still. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's what are you so then that begs the question, what's your top 5 now of like all time basketball?
Dude, we just did. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Because oh no, what did I tweet? It was like 3 or 5 influential players. I'm not going to rate them based off skill, just how they impacted me, I would say. Like I say, Jason Williams, Bobby Jackson, Jason Kidd, T-Mac, and who's a fifth? I mean, Kobe affected everyone. I'm going to have to say Allen Iverson just because, like, seeing someone short ball out like that is inspirational as a short dude, but also, like, dude, the impact he had from a cultural standpoint with, like, the Band-Aids on the earrings and just,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's interesting to see because you always talk about how people affect the way the game's played with Steph Curry and stuff, but, like, the other part of the league was fashion, and so, you know, they obviously banned like baggy clothes and stuff, but just watching people try to find the ways to show themselves, I feel like, especially as an artist, resonates because you're always trying to look for little ways to show you like who you are and stuff. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Those would definitely be my 5 most influential.
5 most influential for sure. Yeah, Allen Iverson, and he was the number 1 overall pick too in '96, I believe.
I think so. Same year that I
Yeah.
was born.
Yeah, and Kobe was drafted too. My Boston Celtics didn't take him. Yeah. I wasn't born at the time, but I'm still Celtic. So, I don't know. It is crazy too. I was listening to another podcast, the Bill Simmons podcast. Shout out my man Bill Simmons. And he was talking about the 96 draft and like how people were so against like coming out of high school at the time, like straight from high school to the NBA. And it's so crazy because it's like, why do you care if another person goes to college? Now looking back, because that was such a popular like mindset to have, like, oh yeah, players should go from high school to college, then to the NBA. But it's now I'm like, why did anybody even care about that? It's interesting looking where we were culturally and where we are now.
I know. I guess it's just the idea of having a stepping stone into more professionalism, I guess. Like, you know, because now you're still required to do something in between, whether it's like Euro League or G League or something. But yeah, I think it's just like probably the idea of getting them to play in a more professional environment because you're going to have a lot of Joe Schmoes on a high school team. You're still going to have some on a college team, but it's supposed to be a little more curated. So I think that might have been the idea. Who knows if it was about money the whole time or whatever, because back then, of course, they had the games for NCAA licensing involved. So I'm sure that might
true, yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, I miss those NCAA games. Those were really fun.
Everyone does, dude.
What are other than Pokemon, what are some games you've been kind of frequenting in this quarantine time?
Yeah, I play Warzone a lot, Call of Duty. I've been playing Skater XL and Session, which are PC skateboarding simulators, both good in their own right. That's my number 1 played game. And Need for Speed Heat is a fun one. I don't really like racing games, but Need for Speed Heat's super fun. It's like online multiplayer, illegal racing, legal racing. You can be with your friends in a huge lobby like GTA 5 almost. So I think that game's fun. That's all I've been doing for the most part if I'm not making music.
Nice. What's a day in the life of K Hella right now? Like you wake up, do you just go straight into music? Obviously you got to eat, but
yeah, I have a terrible sleeping schedule because I work 11 to 8, so I usually stay up till let's start when I wake up. I'm gonna wake up if I work at 11. I'm up at 10:50. Go grab some coffee, wash my face, brush my teeth, hop on the phone, go straight to my lunch, which is around 2:33. I get off at 8. I probably dabble around with music on my breaks and lunches. I get off. I either chill for a little bit and then music, or music and then chill. And I end up staying up till 2 or 3 and then do it all again. And then my days off are like I just sleep in with no alarm for the time being. wake up and jump into something productive, whether it's reading or I have been having a lot of like phone calls and FaceTimes with my boy doing the marketing. So anything to get the gears going as early as possible, play a lot of games, make a couple beats. I haven't been writing as many lyrics because if I'm going to drop something, I got to make sure that my production's on point or someone gives me a beat. So mainly I'm just doing beats right now.
That's cool. With heard you said you were reading. What have you been kind of reading recently?
So I read some, I don't know how to pronounce it, Deism and Taoism.
Oh, Taoism and Taoism, yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading stuff about that. Like I've been recommended some books, but I haven't got into them yet. So I don't have much to report. I haven't been doing as much reading as I want, but that is something that kind of sneaks in. I also am saying that because I need to start reading more. But yeah, I was just recommended a book. Everyone's read it, The Art of War.
Oh,
sure
yeah.
Heard of it. I'll probably read that soon just because I know it's not too difficult of a read and it's beneficial. So we'll see. That
is a good book. I have been reading. Let me see. Do I have it here? Yeah, here we go. I've been reading this book. It's probably flipped, but The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. New Psychology of Love, Traditional Values, and Spiritual Growth. I bought it for my dad because he's into these types of books when I was living in SF. I bought it for him and he was like, bro, you got to read this. So I finally got around to reading it. I definitely recommend it to you and to everyone listening for sure. It's an eye-opening book. It makes you put into perspective like the placement of love in our lives and how like some people just are laser focused in on just the concept of love when there's so much more to life out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, man, I think we're about at that time. Is there anything else you want to say before we get on out of here?
Nah, man. Listen to the Closers podcast, interact with me on social media. Hopefully I'll build up Facebook soon so I'm not like just appealing to young people. My target audience is very narrow right now. So anyone who wants to chat, my DMs are open. I make beats. I can kind of Photoshop. I'm down to collab. I'm down to critique. I'm down to send you stuff that's rough draft so you can realize I'm not as good as you think I am.
Sick, dude. Hell yeah. And what's your Instagram? You're at?
KHellaIG for Instagram, KHellaTW for Twitter. I'm going to make a YouTube soon so I can put up some of the content I've been talking about. Yeah.
Sick. Well, this has been really fun, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for being the second episode of season 1.5, this like weird in-between season, this quarantine season of the Closers podcast. Hopefully we'll have you on again towards the end of this season or the beginning of the next one, man. It's always a good time.
Sure. Thank you for having me, dude. I enjoyed
it. Yeah, thank you.
It's always fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Enjoy, stay safe, healthy, all that fun stuff. Wish the best on you and your family.
Yeah, you too, man. You too, for sure. And good job on the project, man.
Thank you, dude. We're out here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, don't forget to plug yourself. You're dropping something soon. Also, one last thing. I tried to click the link to add it to my library. Didn't work. Mine didn't work for people either. I think that's a distributing issue, but just wanted to let you know it doesn't seem to be letting me preload. So.
Oh, for sure, man. I'll definitely try to fix that. Thank you for letting me know about that. Yeah, I do have me and my homie Lisi are dropping 2 songs next Friday on the 10th, under the band name Dreary Eyes. We've been holding on to these songs for a while, and we're really excited. We have another song coming out probably sometime in May, so we're putting out stuff. So we're really excited for it.
I'm ready to hear it and blow it up on my IG story.
Thanks, homie. I appreciate you, man. I'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, dude.
All right. See ya.
Bend over as I take my weight off the back foot. Scoop it up, take a last look in the mirror. Rub my eyes so my vision clear. Keep them closed long enough for all the stress to disappear. Phone ringing from my bedroom, I didn't hear. Probably my girlfriend, but for now that isn't clear. Once I'm baby face, I proceed, shifting gears, knowing that I'm late to work, but I have bigger fears. Reach over, twisted nozzle, now the mist appears. Think about my last beats, tripping how I missed the peers. Now I'm apart like Mr. Pierce, realizing if I apply myself, this be my biggest year.